So training camp just started. It started today, and there's a lot of excitement around the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, for me, I've been waiting all off season to talk about stuff like this, and I want to really hone in on what Bijan Robinson said when it comes to not just the entire training camp or what's going on, but the one thing that I noticed that he said, and it makes me think that not only that he has grown and matured more. Not saying that he didn't need it, but you know what I mean, from a rookie to his third year. But he's starting to notice that the game has slowed down a little bit, and he's actually going through the motions of trying to get better. And he's been training with Christian McCaffrey, which I think is absolutely interesting. I'll just say that. And it's pretty one of the big things that stood out through the press conference today. So I really want to talk about that, give my thoughts and opinions on it. Also, I want to talk about Georgia Southern's quarterback room because Ryan Applin, the offensive coordinator for the Georgia Southern Eagles, actually talked about the quarterback room. And when it comes to Georgia Southern, for the past few years, that has been the big talk of the team, just what's going on with the, with the quarterbacks. Is J.C. French going to be the guy? What was going on with Davis Brin? What was going on with Kyle Van Treese? It's always been a thing. And this is the first year that Georgia Southern's going to have the same quarterback coming back again. So it's going to be a bit really, big talk about it. So I want to see what Ryan Applin said. So I'm going to talk about what Bijan Robinson said here, and I'm also going to jump over to the Georgia Southern Eagles. So if this is your first time here, welcome. This is the VF Sports channel. Used to be the First and Frame Rates channel. It's now VF Sports. Over we talk about Georgia Southern, Atlanta Falcons football, and we also talk about the Atlanta Hawks. When that season comes back around, we're going to talk about them because they look like they got a pretty good team too. So please consider liking the video, sharing the video to others, subscribe to the channel because now football season is back. There's going to be a lot more content over here. So let's go look at what Bijan Robinson said about, gelling with the team, getting reps from Christian McCaffrey or learning how to train with him. Give my thoughts and opinions. Then we're going to jump over to the Georgia Southern QB situation. So I can't remember what the question was, but nevertheless, I just want to hear what Bijan Robinson said. I think that's the more important part, not necessarily the question.
So for us, just gelling together, becoming the closest team that we can. Me becoming a great leader to the guys, all those are important things. So when the time does come and when that first game comes, we can focus on that first game and focus on winning the first game.
See, that's the thing. Like what he said, I remember I cut it out, but what he said earlier was basically when he was a rookie, he wanted to, he was just thinking about the playoffs. They're trying to get to the playoffs. He wants to already get there, but in the NFL it's different. So you got to take it one game at a time. So now he's starting to realize that, and I didn't say he started to realize it, but going into year 3, he's going with that approach, and that's the way it's working out for him so far.
And then every game after that, that I feel like that's how you become a very good team, and that's how you become really successful. And even just me, working with McCaffrey, he said the exact same thing. He was always focus on, the moment that you're in that week, and don't look ahead because that's how you guys start getting, that's how you lose a game, and that's how your focus is not all the way into that week.
Yeah, he's exactly right. I mean, just taking it one game at a time. That's the way you do it. You take it one game at a time. I'm no professional. I'm just a guy behind a microphone, but I notice most teams who are, not just in basketball, not basketball, not just in football, but in basketball, even when it comes to baseball, they take it one game at a time. They're not looking far ahead. And especially in football, you have to take it one game at a time because every game is really, really crucial.
Did you work with him this offseason, McCaffrey?
Yeah.
What was that like?
That was great. It was great. Me and him just giving each other just so many tips and just feeding off knowledge from each other on the field. And, we worked for the whole month. So, I got to see how he worked. He got to see how I worked, and we got to put it together. And, it was just really cool, two guys coming together, just trying to make each other better. And, he taught me a whole bunch of nuanced moves that I got to learn on the field. And, I did the same with him. And I think it's just really cool, having a vet like McCaffrey, be a brother to me as well, and so I can learn, all the cool things that he's done on the field, and and vice versa. So it was really cool to work with him this summer.
So basically, they worked pretty much 1 month throughout the summer, and at one point, I kind of felt like And you know, I kind of felt like Bijan Robinson was going to be our version of what's his name, Alvin Kamara. I thought that's what it was going to be, but it seems like his game does mimic more of Christian McCaffrey. So for him to go out there and they working together, they're leaning on each other and learning from each other. I think that's really cool. But my only issue is I know Christian McCaffrey had like a little injury issue. So I don't know, you know, just looking at him as him going forward, I don't know how that's going to play out, but it is the talent's there. There's no denying that. And with Bijan Robinson, he seems like a much more durable guy. You know, fingers crossed, hopefully nothing happens. You know, keep that, you know, always protect him as he's on the football field. But, you know, his game mimics a lot like Christian. I mean, he can catch out the backfield, he can run the ball between the tackles. And I knew that Bijan was like a complete running back. I mean, I knew that ever back in Texas, but I just didn't think that he was going to be used this way because you got Tyler Algier. But the way I'm looking at it now is like, yeah, he's going to be the future guy. I mean, we saw that last year. I mean, he was third in rushing in the entire NFL, and you know, and that's just the way that it's going to be. And from him learning from somebody like Christian McCaffrey, I think that's going to work out big time. So that's absolutely awesome. Love to see that. Let's jump over to the other thing. Well, I'll say this. This is the only thing that I really took from training camp. You know, you saw the highlights or whatever the case may be, but I think this is one of the more important things. Other things to note, I think during this press conference as well, what's his name? Chris Lindstrom also talked, and I like the way that he conducts himself when it comes to actually getting prepared for the season. He's like me. He likes playing video games, falling back with the rest of the guys, just keep his mind clear. And people don't realize, and I don't want to go on a tangent, but video games is some form of a relaxation and therapy. It definitely works for me. But with that being said, I want to see if I can pull this up. Hopefully it is not, well, it's a little bit off, but we'll fix that just a little bit. I want to talk about this on gseagles.com. And I want to apologize because gseagles.com has been talking about all the other positions about what's going on. I mean, they got the defensive line, they got the linebackers, the running backs, which I will be talking about that down the road. But I was going to wait until the beginning of training camp to really start pushing the content out there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about quarterbacks today. I'll probably jump over to the running backs tomorrow and so on and so on throughout the rest of the week. So be tuned, stay tuned, and hopefully guys hang out for the channel. With that being said, Ryan Applin was asked a few questions about the quarterback position. This is a fairly lengthy Q&A. Well, it's not that bad. It felt like it was longer than it was, but it's not that bad. So we're going to go through some of the questions that I find interesting and just going to react to them. So I don't know if this was on video. If not, I mean, it's cool. I can read from here. It says, Coach, what are your general takeaways from spring ball when it came to your quarterback group? Ryan Applin says, overall, I was really pleased with the progression. The growth we saw both individually and collectively, it was exciting. From a system standpoint, our guys made real strides, especially with some of the checks and communication aspects of the offense. I was impressed on how they operated the system throughout the spring. So it's basically seemed like everybody's progressing. You know, you got J.C. French, you got Tyler Budge. I think those are the ones that are coming back. You got Turner Helton coming in. You got, oh man, I can't remember his name. I know it's here. What's it, Charlie Johnston? You got him. He's coming in, and the other guy, Weston, he's going to be here as well. So that's going to be what it is, you know. Which veterans stood out throughout the spring? I mean, obviously, we should know that J.C. French. I think Tyler Budge is really a guy that we need to look at because I think Tyler Budge could be pretty solid as well. Turner Helton is somewhat unknown. I mean, he came from Western Kentucky. Don't know much how he will fit into this offense, even though Western Kentucky offense is similar. But, you know, I think right now it probably going to be French, Helton, and Budge. But I wouldn't be surprised if Budge ended up being number 2. I wouldn't be surprised. What about the newcomers? Who caught your eye? Turner did a great job, and then we brought in Charlie Johnston, a true freshman. There's always a challenge to see how the young guy will adjust, especially in our offense. It's complex from a communication standpoint. Charlie Johnston handled it incredibly well. For an 18-year-old just coming in, he's one of the best I've seen picking this up quickly. I'm pretty proud of him, how he carried himself. I am a really big fan of Charlie Johnston. I know this may be not necessarily real popular with the rest of the guys in Eagle Nation, but I am more leaning towards Johnston than Weston. I think his name is Brian West. Let me make sure I said that right. What is his name? I want to make sure I get his name right. Is it Weston? It doesn't. His name is not on here. But I want to say, but everybody knows who he is. But I'm more leaning towards him than the other guy. And I'll be honest. I feel like Charlie Johnson will probably be more capable of running this style of offense. I think Weston is more of a Tebow like, which he can probably do a little bit of everything. It's not a bad problem to have, either or. So it'd be really awesome to see any one of those guys be, the guy that's coming in, that's going to be playing later on down the road. Who are your leaders in the quarterback room? JC, he basically said that. First time under Coach Helton here, Georgia Southern returns for the first time under Coach Helton here. Georgia Southern returns its starting quarterback. How big is that for them? It's huge. It's huge for the offense. I mean, you gotta have consistency at the quarterback position. This is one of the things that I was kind of worried about going into each season. It was Kyle Van Treese, and it was Davis Brent, and then it was J.C. French, and it's like, all right, what are we doing here? I want a guy that's actually consistent. One of the reasons why I kind of was on board with what's the other kid that just left? He was at Boise State. He came to us. I can't remember his name. Oh my God. Oh, number 16. That's what it was, number 16. Nevertheless, I wanted to see somebody with some consistency, and he was around. He was a more veteran at the time, but he went with J.C. French, which is cool. It worked out. I mean, J.C. It was a above average season. It was not bad, so I could see how important it is to have him under the center for the next season. So I think that'll work out. From a quarterback perspective, what's your top message? What you're preaching to help this team win consistently? Consistency. That's key for the quarterbacks. That's enough said there. I just talked about that in the last, the last comment about the last question. You got to have consistency at the quarterback. You got to have the quarterback here for a good bit of time. At least 2 years. So that'll work. From an offense as a whole, what's your big picture takeaway from spring, and what are you most excited to see in the fall? I'm looking at this answer. It looks like a bunch of generics. Basically you want to see the guys compete and win. You want them to be the best that they can be. You want them to be playing at the highest level. So that's basically what it is. I think this is the last question. It says, everyone knows a name like J.C. French, Pashawn Wimbley, Caleb Cook. Who are a few new faces that you're excited for the fans to see? Ahmad Green and River Helms. Aren't both of these guys, they're the tight ends. So they're stepping in major roles, filling shoes of Tyler Fromm and Bo Johnson, and Evan Lester. So we lost 3, we gained 2. I think we gained another one too. It was another JP came in as well. So you got 3 tight ends that probably could do pretty good for us. Also, he's excited for Camden Brown and Dylan Gary. I think Camden Brown is going to be a stud, man. I think he's going to do very well in this offense. You're probably going to get a guy that, in my opinion, this may be the guy that probably will be able to do like what not Caleb. Did I say Caleb? Not Caleb Cook. Good God. What was the other Caleb that played for us? I'm bad with names. I'm sorry. But yeah, he could be one of the next top wide receivers. Him and oh goodness, Josh Dallas. Yeah, that's who it is. He could be really good with Josh Dallas. And Dylan Gary had great springs. Brian Green Jr. is another one that doesn't get a lot of talk. I mean, he came from Florida just like Terrence Gibbs. So I wonder how he will play out as well. That'd be really interesting. Also at running back, Terrence Gibbs, Jamarian Samuel, Bryce Baker, Teo Todd. Those guys, you got a pretty deep running back, room, and we haven't even talked about O.J. Arnold. So I think, like I said in the last video I made when I talked about the Lindy Sports Magazine, I think we have a very, very talented roster and a lot of experience as well. They got us number 2 in the Sun Belt, but I think that we'll be able to do more than just go number 2. We should be the best team in the Sun Belt. Got James Madison to worry about, but I think outside of that, we got to handle business. I think at the end of the day, that's like the game that we need to really jump on and actually we need to beat James Madison if anything. So let me know what you guys think. Sorry that I wasn't that well with the names. I'm a little rusty getting back to this. The off season, I'm still trying to get back into the swing of things. Also, I've been doing a lot of stuff on my gaming channel, so haven't really been focused on football like that. So, but hope you guys forgive me for missing some names, and we'll just go from there. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the rest of the video. Like, share, and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. All right, y'all. You guys take it easy. Y'all be blessed. Peace.